Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our dearly departed Premier League review show. Hopefully you're happy to receive this on a Tuesday. Just all the games have been spaced out across the weekends, and yesterday got away from me a little bit. Would have liked to have a pop at this yesterday, but here we are today talking about our 5 dearly departed teams. I say 5, Fulham didn't play this weekend. I think the Premier League were hyper organised here, and Fulham would have been playing Tottenham, but that got moved forward with Spurs in the League Cup final. So that was all done and dusted, but still plenty to talk about with Leeds, Villa, Sheffield United and West Brom as well, and a dearly departed derby between Aston Villa and West Brom into the bargain. Before we get into it, let's say a big thank you to Coyle, who is our fan sponsor for the Dearly Departed shows. Dearly Departed, also known as Ben Couldn't Bear to Lose Us. Well, Jay is damn right about that. That's why we have the show. And Dearly Departed will go on next season, and we can now also tell you, particularly Leeds and Villa fans, maybe Fulham and West Brom fans, might have less of an interest next season. We'll find out. Welcome Watford and Norwich will be joining Leeds and Villa in the Dearly Departed. Get your reactions into that. You're going to welcome them with open arms like the lovely people you are. Shall we have a look at round 33's results? It was Arsenal 0, Everton 1. That was the Friday night game. Then into Saturday, Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1. Newcastle's decent form continues down there. They have pulled themselves away from our dearly departed teams in the bottom 3. West Ham 0, Chelsea 1. Interesting red card in that one. Sheffield United 1, Brighton 0. A 5th win of the season for our Blaze. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wolves 0, Burnley 4. After a little slip from Burnley, they've dealt another blow to the dearly departed there with a win to push them up to 36 points. Our second game there is Leeds 0, Manchester United 0. Leeds getting through their tricky 3 games undefeated. Aston Villa 2, West Brom 2. Oh, the most unhelpful draw you can get if you are a West Brom fan. They could have tied up on points with Fulham, but for a late equaliser. We'll get into that. And last night, it was Leicester 2, Crystal Palace 1. As ever, we will go from the highest ranked team, which for the last couple of weeks has been Leeds, down to the lowest. We've only got 3 games to talk about. Fulham did not play. Shall we get into it with game number 1? And it was Leeds United 0, Manchester United 0. Pretty good again from Leeds. As I said, a lot of people alerted me to this 3-game run Leeds have got. An away win against Manchester City. Really good value for a draw against Liverpool. They came good in the second half there. And a draw here against Manchester United. Clean sheet as well. It's excellent. It's 5 points across those 3 games. Undefeated. I mean, depends on your philosophy on life. Would you rather have had a defeat and 2 wins for 1 more point, but knowing you've lost the game, or would you rather have the undefeated and 1 less point? You know, proper first world problems for Leeds fans at the moment, as they are riding nice and high there in 9th position in the table. They have a point lead over Arsenal. Villa are 2 behind with a game in hand, but 50 points is being closed in on now. How many games to go for Leeds? 5 to go on 47. Can they get another 5 or 6 points and get into those early 50s? There are the teams. Meslier in goal. Ayling, Llorente, Strauick and Alioski. You can see down the bottom there. Cooper still suspended. Llorente is in the good books and is in the team and staying in the team. Robin Koch not finding his way in there. Llorente's got the shirt at the moment. So is Strauick, frankly. Phillips, as ever, rave reviews from Leeds fans about him in this game. You can see the algorithms picked him up there with an 8.1 as well as the man of the match. Costa and Harrison wide, so still no Rafinha for Leeds. Dallas, Roberts and Bamford. I said it last week. The team that starts the season is never the team that finishes the season. And honestly, other than Cooper and Rafinha, I think Bielsa will be happy to keep his central midfield put, won't he? And I think he'll be happy with Llorente finishing the season as well. So, yeah. We never know how teams are going to develop, and this is how Leeds have developed this season in the top half of the Premier League. Looking good for it. Manchester United, second in the league, and this is the end of a winning streak for them. They're 10 points off Man City at the top, who could be champions within the next couple of games. Can't be bothered to do the maths right now. But Henderson in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Fred, James, who nearly ended up at Leeds, didn't he? Fernandes, Rashford and Greenwood. Up top, 0-0. Tight game. Never dull. The speed that Leeds do anything. And Manchester United pretty exciting in return on the counter, aren't they? So let's call it a technical 0-0. I know Martin Tyler got a bit of mockery on the Gary Neville podcast for calling it a thrilling 0-0. Perhaps the Leeds and Man City game, the 1-1 earlier in the season, was a thrilling draw, but we did have some goals into the bargain there. Something and nothing here, I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Let's conspiracy theories, leave them at the door. But sure, I don't guess his arm's in an unnatural position. And also, is it above the... It's pretty right bang on the line of the sleeve, even if the arm is in an unnatural position. So that one didn't get called as a penalty. Great save here from Meslier. You can see Rashford miles out in the background from the free kick. And Meslier does really well because that ball is coming at him and then bends away and he has to go with the top arm rather than the the bottom one where he could reach out probably a bit further. So he had to adjust on the fly there, literally on the fly. Good save by Meslier. Great free kick by England's Rashford. Surprised he missed this one. Fernandes, great player, isn't he? Not quite been at it. Say my FPL playing friends. Good closing down, particularly from Strauick, who's on the right-hand side of that picture. But more often than not, he sticks those in the corner, and it just goes wide of the post from Fernandes. Here is Helder Costa. Spot the ball there. Can you see it? Henderson's done, isn't he? Look, he's totally done by the deflection. It's a great pass by Calvin Phillips, one of those raking crossfield passes that is a bit of a trademark of Phillips. Costa, touch, shot, deflection takes Henderson out of the game. On another day, if you're feeling lucky, does that just drop over the keeper and under the bar for the winner? I don't know. 0-0. And look, given the first game between these two was 6-2, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole naivety and immaturity and conversation. That's a bit patronising to Bielsa, who's been doing this a long time. But you can see a little bit of growth from game 1 to game 2, can't you? And, this was always thrown at Leeds. Can't they just have a 0-0 at some point? Or even a draw. Any kind of draw is kind of all or nothing. So, nice. We can fit that into our narrative with Leeds. Now, there are the numbers. So, 56-44 to Manchester United on the possession. 16 shots to 6. However, 4-3 on target. And you'll see no big chances on there. Shot map says not much going on, really. 0.33 to Leeds on the XG says they didn't create a lot. So I think even the most staunch Leeds fan would say on the numbers there, Manchester United edged it. But let's be honest, it was a game of 0 big chances and very few chances overall of note. So if my glass is very half full as a Leeds fan, representing Leeds fans, sorry, a Sloydian frip from me there. If my glass was half full and were I a Leeds fan, I'd be saying, well, look at the level of competition between Leeds and the second team in the division. Decent result. Manchester United 0, Leeds 0. That's what it does to the table. Leeds 0, Manchester United 0. Sorry, I'm falling over all over the place today. And yeah, just excellent form from Leeds, especially when you factor in who they've been playing. To have 11 points from those 5 is brilliant. And 47 feels like they're kind of at the top of their own table there, doesn't it? I know you've got mighty, traditionally big clubs. Can we use the term big below them, especially in terms of Arsenal, and lots of established names above them. I'm sure Leeds fans will be incredibly happy with this, the way it's going. Can they hang in there? Even if they drop to 10th, for me, that's a bit of a triumph. Even if they drop one place down to 10th, I think that's excellent. And I look forward to another, maybe a Rodrigo Rafinha type signing, another sort of big name, big fee, big ticket asset going in there just to bump up that quality a little bit more. Brilliant stuff. Manchester United stay in second. Get your thoughts in the comments. It was Leeds United 0, Manchester United 0. And on we go to our dearly departed derby between Aston Villa and West Brom. And honestly, the result for the pro dearly departed here was a West Brom win, and they came very, very close. It's a very unhelpful point. I know Villa are pros. They're in the middle of the table. Bit of a sense they're on the beach. They have to do their business in a local derby and can't be taking their foot off the pedal. But let me just say, things would have been a touch more interesting going into these last games had West Brom, who are improving under Big Sam, managed to plunder those 3 points. The extra 2 would have made all the difference. But it's a late goal from Keenan Davis that made the difference here and dropped West Brom from potential 3 down to a single point. There are the teams for Villa. Martinez in goal. El Mohammadi, you can see Cash is suspended there down the bottom, comes in at right back. Konza, Mings and Target. Louise and McGinn, and they've gone back to Ross Barkley now, which did work in conjunction with Grealish, this system. Smith's tried a few different things since. So Barkley 10, El Ghazi left, Traore right, with Watkins up top. Putting my guessing tinfoil hat on, does that mean Grealish is close? And they're going back to that system and then they can just slide him in on the left-hand side? I don't know. Is it just Smith, given Villa's sort of trend downwards in form, is it just Smith going back to what worked without his star player at the moment? West Brom, Johnston in goal. Furlong, Ajayi, Bartley and Townsend. Yokuslu, the inform wide men there, Pereira and Robinson. Maitland-Niles, Gallagher, he returns. Was he out, Gallagher? I know he didn't play against Chelsea because he's a low knee from them, but I think he'd been on the bench possibly since or out injured. Forgive me if I got that wrong. And Diania up front, and it's going to end 2-2 in annoying circumstances for West Brom for sure. Here is the opening goal. Penalty. It's a bit clumsy from Semi Ajayi, isn't it? You can see his legs just getting caught there, and Barkley, use what language you like, draws the foul, shows the ref he's been fouled, down it goes, and then they can go and have to check. And the penalty upheld, and Anwar El Ghazi sticks it in the corner there, sends Johnston, England's Johnston of late, sends him the wrong way. 1-0 Villa. I don't think this was a penalty. Sorry, West Brom fans. Look down and you can see Konza. Is he treading on Maitland-Niles' foot there? Yes, the arm's up, but it's very much... He kind of touches him, then thinks better of it, holds his arms up. Maitland-Niles goes down. I don't know. I've said a million times and ranted about penalties. I don't know where we are with it anymore. What's a foul? What's not a foul? Is any contact in the box now a penalty? Is any, even if you're trying to jostle and get your arms in the way, if that arm then makes contact with a player and they go down, is that a guaranteed penalty? I don't know. I don't know how you word it. I saw Danny Murphy on a YouTube clip talking on TalkSport yesterday, going down I've played the game. I know that's a penalty. And then when asked, well, why is it a penalty? Not on this decision, by the way. Because I've played football and I know. And he says the referees don't know football. And okay, even if Danny Murphy is right and the referees don't know football, then you've got to do one of two things. You've got to either get people that do know football to go and referee the games because they know football, or got to get people who do know football to explain in laws that can be applied what that means. I've played football and I know that's a foul, but it does feel like we've really jumped the shark with this. Look at that loose hair. What am I going to do about that? Let's just leave it there. Anyway, penalty gets given. Konza, rightly, I think, looks a bit flabbergasted by that one. Pereira, though, is not flabbergasted at all. He's in great form and he slams that penalty in, just lifts it. And we see people, which way are you going to go? And also, with your disguise, can you then lift the ball as well? Make it really hard for the goalkeeper. Used to love the Alan Shearer penalty school. Either top corner with loads of power. Keeper's not saving it, are they, if you're accurate? Even if they do go the right way. 1-1. Here's an own goal by good old Tyrone Mings here. So, first of all, Konza, touch, slips. Dianya then runs in behind. And from then on, it's a bit of a strange one because Mings, I feel a bit sorry for him on this one, I do have to say. You can see who's that arriving. I think it's Robinson. And Mings is kind of in betwixt and in between. And he waits. And then just as he feels Dianya's going to shoot, he moves across. Now, the strange thing about this one is that the deflection, you can see Dianya's trying to curl it in the far corner. The deflection actually takes it closer to the keeper. So you would have thought if Martinez had thrown himself across the goal, the deflection would have still taken it into a diving save there. So just a weird one with the slip, with Mings coming across late, stretches, touch, a strange deflection because normally when we talk about deflections, we're talking about the ball being taken away from the goalkeeper and sort of wrong footing them. But yeah, just an odd goal. But Dianya and Big Sam will be totally pleased with this. In his, footballing philosophy, when you get that quick transition, you punish. And they are at the moment, West Brom. They are scoring goals. They are disruptive. They are a threat. It's all feeling too little, too late though. So 2-1 to the Baggies. But 92nd minute, Keenan Davis with the equaliser. And I think it's Bartley. Is he trying to get it back to Johnston and he doesn't quite deal with it, and Davis punishes him in the worst way, doesn't he? Just jumps up and sort of prods that into the net from close range, and when we look at the table, you'll see the impact of that late goal on West Brom and Big Sam. There are the numbers. It's classic Allardyce, isn't it? To have nearly extracted 3 points from 30% possession. Villa 24 shots and 11 on target. But then look at the big chances. 3 big chances for Villa, 3 for West Brom. Yes, I do acknowledge with the shot map there, an XG of 3.17 to Villa means they probably were value for 2 goals. But those numbers are quite normal for Allardyce, and he can get a team competitive without having too much possession and conceding shots. Can you block them? And then can you sucker your opponent in and punish them? They have been doing it of late, West Brom. That is 7 points from 4, but it was so close to being 9, wasn't it? Ifs, buts and maybes. So there's the table. Villa, they're not in great form at all, are they? And I suspect if we stretch that out a few more games, it's 4 points in the last 5 for Aston Villa. If you go back further, draw, loss against Sheffield United before another win. So really it's 1 win in 8 if you stretch that back, without Captain Jack, of course, as the elephant in the room. West Brom, they would have been on 27, wouldn't they? I know their goal difference is horrifically bad, so they wouldn't have gone above Fulham, but that wouldn't really have mattered in the big picture, because can you then go ahead and try and close up on Brighton a little bit? I've only got 2 points in the last 4. We're clinging on in there. I try and make arguments that this could happen, that could happen. All I will say is these teams in that little block above the bottom three, they all have been capable of hitting a couple of wins across 4 games. They've all done it now, Newcastle, Burnley, Brighton, at various points in the season. I suppose Southampton are the ones who've been suckered down on 36, but that's a long way off, especially for West Brom. And with Fulham's poor form of late, well, again, am I clutching at straws? You let me know in the comments. It was Aston Villa 2, West Brom 2. And it was Sheffield United 1, Brighton 0. We said this could happen, didn't we? Blades will finally be put out of their misery, be relegated, and they'll go and win a couple of games, won't they? You know, sort of relaxed. What's the cliche? There's nothing as dangerous as a man with nothing to lose. Well, there you go. Sheffield United have got nothing to lose anymore. They're already down. Brighton have got a lot to lose, but as we just said with West Brom, even though that gap is 7 points, it just feels with only 5 games left a little bit too little too late. We'll see. We'll keep watching and hopefully hang in there for a big last day of the season. Excuse me, struggling today. There are the teams: Blades, Ramsdale, Egan, Brian, Bulldog. Look down and you'll see no O'Connell there, no Basham either. Bogle and Stevens are the wing-backs. Norwood and Fleck in central midfield. Osborne joins them. McGoldrick and Brewster. I've said it a few times. Nice to see Brewster. Get him in the team now. Get him playing each and every week. Hopefully get a goal out of him, an assist or what have you. Get him ready for next season where he's proven in the Championship. Really sort of pushed the envelope when he was at Swansea, didn't he, on loan? So just get him in there now. Brighton. Sanchez, Webster, Dunk, Veltman, Murder, Gross, Lallana, Bissouma, Trossard, Mopai and Welbeck. And if you wanted to play into every cliche about Brighton, every bit of conceived wisdom, it is that they play nice football, they create chances, but they don't quite have the power yet to turn their kind of in-game presence into, you know, being a viable team that wins more than, how many wins they got? This 7 out of 33. And we can kind of play that narrative in this game. There's Neil Mopai. It's a good save by Ramsdale, who I think is ending the season. He's trending upwards as a player, isn't he? After some questions at the start. So Mopai misses the 1v1. Okay, bit of pressure on him, you'd have to say. But probably go down as a big chance, that one, won't it? Here's the goal. They transition quickly down the left into the box. It goes. Like Brewster gets a bit of a touch, and then I think it's Veltman trying to help back, knocks it into McGoldrick's path, and he swivels quickly, and Sanchez, the Brighton keeper there, throws himself to his right. McGoldrick hits it down the middle, and it just kind of rolls into the empty net. And the opening goal, and he's been a real story, hasn't he, Dave McGoldrick? Obviously at my club, Ipswich, and still holding his head high, knocking in some goals in the Premier League, even though he's ultimately in a relegated side. Weird goal, this one, that was disallowed for offside. So Webster is headering the ball there. Look at Murder, who is closest to us, the Brighton player there. I think it's 15 on his back, you can't quite see. The ball's going to flick back into the gap behind Ender Stevens, is it the number 3 there? And Murder's going to run behind him and then put it into the corner, exactly where Ramsdale's standing at the moment. He's going to move across to the middle. Just a strange one, because he's kind of offside. You know, he is offside by the letter of the law, but you don't often see those ones where the ball doesn't even travel in his direction. Sorry if you got that bleep from my computer. And he kind of comes back. And do you know what I mean? It was just a bit of a unique one, I thought. Normally you'd expect the defender to get there first, but it was offside to kind of like seemingly well onside. But yeah, good spot by the VAR there. I didn't catch that at first viewing. And then look at that. God. Slammed across the box for Mopai. it looked worse than it was. When you see that, you can see it's just a little bit behind them and it's absolutely fizzed in. But just another example of Brighton forcing big chances and just not being able to turn it into victory. There are the numbers, and yeah, you're just banging your head against a brick wall if you're a Brighton fan. Look, 3 big chances to 1, 17 shots to 7, 4 shots to 3 on target, 69 to 31 on the possession. However, they go down again, 1-0. And look at the shot map, look at the XG, is over double, isn't it? But hey, the underlying numbers don't always lead to a win. And I know certain people get very upset about us analysing underlying numbers. They're just a little bit more information. And those of us who do analyse them do understand they don't always point to the result that you'd think that they would. That doesn't make them worthless. It just means that sometimes teams don't utilise the advantage that they seemingly build up during the game for whatever reason. So well done, Blades. 17 points now, only the 5th win of the season. However, that is the same amount, in fact, as West Brom and Fulham. However, both of those two have just tons of draws, don't they? 22 between them. So some feather in the cap there for Sheffield United in a very poor season. Brighton are still not safe, are they? And they are the one that Fulham and West Brom are kind of shooting at the moment. It feels like West Brom have got more of the trend upwards, but is anyone going to catch Brighton? I'm not so sure. But we'll hang in there with our dearly departed and hope that one of them can at least get to, if they can get to game 37, and there's a chance, even if it's 2 wins for our team in the bottom 3 and 2 defeats, I would kind of take that at the moment. So we'll see how it pans out. And that is our dearly departed show. Thank you again to J Coyle, dearly departed, also known as Ben. Good and bad to losers. He's our fan sponsor over on Patreon. Thank you everyone who subscribed on Patreon. Brilliant. World's smallest violin, I know, but I haven't had a job since June, basically, and lockdown and COVID and all of that good stuff. And I really am reliant on YouTube ad revenue and Patreons, and got a little bit of sponsorship. You can see there my cards plug in the background there, cardsplug.com/Bloom. Enter Bloom at checkout for a 20% reduction off your order. So yeah, really, really grateful if you can support via Super Chat in a live stream or on Patreon. Just try and keep us moving in the right direction. We do now have 15,400 subscribers on YouTube, so do please hit subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and help us out there as well. That don't cost you a penny. So just the 3 games this week on Dearly Departed. I've still managed to bang on for 30 minutes about it. Please get your comments in. Remember, when we go into playoffs in the Championship, we can put a little bit more focus on the Dearly Departed, because obviously my time is not going to be spent looking at 1,000 Championship games every week, is it? So, yeah, do keep watching. And remember, new teams coming soon, Norwich and Watford in. And actually, I can tell you who one of the others is going to be, because the playoffs are all sorted. It's going to be Brentford, Bournemouth, Barnsley or Swansea who's going to be joining the Dearly Departed next season. So get comments in on that as well. Thank you, everybody. It's 9 a.m, so I'll say have a good day, even though it'll take me an hour or so to get this edited and up. And I will see you very soon. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload, ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.